The research outpost on Kepler 452 hummed with quiet intensity. Dr. Kai Reyes adjusted her environmental suit, her dark eyes scanning the alien landscape through the reinforced observation window. The planet's rust-colored terrain stretched out beneath twin suns, a testament to humanity's relentless exploration. "Zara, are you getting these atmospheric readings?" Kai called out to her colleague, engineer Zara Nomura, who was hunched over a complex array of monitoring equipment. Zara looked up, her fingers dancing across holographic displays. "Something's off," she muttered, her Japanese-Colombian heritage reflected in her precise yet passionate approach to problem-solving. "The electromagnetic interference is increasing, but it doesn't match any natural phenomenon we've documented." Before Kai could respond, a series of sharp beeps erupted from the communication array. The standard interference patterns they'd grown accustomed to during their 6-month mission had changed. Something was approaching. Outside, the rocky terrain began to shimmer. At first, Kai thought it was a heat mirage, but the distortion moved with purpose. A sleek, obsidian-like craft materialized seemingly from nowhere, its design unlike anything in human or known alien archives. "Zara, tell me you're recording this," Kai whispered, her hand unconsciously moving to the emergency communication panel. Zara was already ahead of her. "Full spectrum analysis, multiple data streams. Whatever this is, we're documenting every millisecond." The craft descended with an unnatural grace, its surface rippling like liquid metal. No conventional propulsion system was visible. As it touched down approximately 200 meters from the research outpost, Kai and Zara exchanged a look of shared anticipation and caution. Their training had prepared them for first contact scenarios, but nothing could truly prepare anyone for the moment of actual alien encounter. A section of the craft's surface began to dissolve, revealing 3 beings that defied immediate categorization. They were roughly humanoid, but with significant differences. Iridescent skin that seemed to change color based on surrounding light, elongated limbs that moved with a fluid grace, and head structures that suggested sensory capabilities far beyond human understanding. "Do not move," a voice resonated directly in Kai and Zara's minds, bypassing their auditory systems entirely. "We are the Lyrian Collective. Your presence here is unexpected." Zara's hand inched towards a communication device, her engineering background kicking into high gear. "We are peaceful researchers from Earth," she responded, carefully choosing her words. "We come to explore and understand." The lead Lyrian, distinguished by a more complex pattern of color shifts, tilted its head. "Exploration, a curious concept. Most species we encounter seek resources or territorial expansion." Kai stepped forward, her doctorate in xenoanthropology providing her with a unique perspective. "Exploration is about knowledge, understanding, not conquest." The alien's form rippled, a gesture that might have been equivalent to a human raising an eyebrow. An intriguing statement, one we have not heard frequently in our galactic interactions. What the Lyrians didn't realize was that they had just encountered 2 of humanity's most adaptable representatives. Kai and Zara were not just scientists. They were problem solvers, diplomats, and survivors. Little did the Lyrian Collective know that this chance encounter would challenge everything they understood about humanity, a species they had previously dismissed as primitive and inconsequential. The first contact had begun, and the universe was about to witness something extraordinary. The tension inside the research outpost crackled like static electricity. Hours had passed since the initial encounter with the Lyrian Collective, and Kai and Zara found themselves in an unprecedented diplomatic dance. Zara had been working tirelessly, her engineering background pushing the limits of their communication and defense systems. "They're scanning us," she muttered, fingers flying across holographic interfaces. "But not just with traditional sensors. It's like they're probing our technological infrastructure." Kai watched the alien craft through the reinforced windows, its obsidian surface continuing to shift and shimmer. "Can you block their scans?" A rare smile crossed Zara's face. "Block, no, redirect and confuse, absolutely." The outpost's standard communication and defense systems were designed for terrestrial and known extraterrestrial threats. But Zara wasn't interested in standard. She began reconfiguring their equipment, creating a complex web of signal decoys and technological misdirection. The Lyrian lead, whom they had mentally dubbed chromatic due to its constantly changing skin patterns, seemed to sense the shift in technological dynamics. Another mental communication pierced their consciousness. Your technological adaptations are unexpected. Kai stepped forward, her voice steady. Adaptation is humanity's greatest strength. We don't just react, we innovate. Unbeknownst to the Lyrians, Zara was implementing a series of cascading algorithmic responses. Each scan they attempted was met with a labyrinth of false data, technological mirages, that would take even their advanced systems significant time to unravel. What the Lyrians didn't understand was that humans viewed technology not as a static tool, but as a living, breathing extension of problem-solving. Where other species might have rigid technological frameworks, humans constantly reimagined, rebuilt, and reinvented. "They're attempting a deeper scan," Zara announced, her voice a mix of concentration and excitement. "Watch this." The outpost systems suddenly erupted in a controlled burst of electromagnetic interference. To the Lyrian sensors, it would appear as a complete system failure. In reality, it was a precisely orchestrated technological sleight of hand. Chromatic's form shifted dramatically, colors swirling in what seemed like confusion. "Your systems, they defy our understanding." Kai couldn't help but smile. "We're full of surprises." The encounter was rapidly evolving from a potential first contact scenario to something more complex. The Lyrians had come expecting a straightforward interaction with what they considered a lesser species. Instead, they found themselves outmaneuvered by human creativity. Zara continued her technological ballet, creating nested layers of computational complexity that would challenge even the most advanced alien scanning technologies. She was essentially creating a digital fortress, protecting not just their physical location, but the very essence of their technological capabilities. "They're trying to penetrate our systems again," she announced. "But each attempt just adds another layer to our defensive algorithm." The Lyrian craft began to show signs of technological strain. Its once smooth surface now flickered with intermittent disruptions, a testament to the unexpected resistance they were encountering. Chromatic's mental communication became more fragmented. "Incomprehensible. Your technological responses violate our predictive models." Kai understood the deeper implication of this moment. This wasn't just about defending their outpost. This was about challenging preconceived notions of human capability. Every alien species they'd encountered had underestimated humanity's potential for rapid innovation and adaptive thinking. As the technological standoff continued, both Kai and Zara knew they were writing a new chapter in humanity's interstellar narrative. They weren't just scientists or researchers, they were ambassadors of human potential. The Lyrian Collective was about to learn a crucial lesson. Humanity's true strength wasn't in raw power, but in its ability to think beyond conventional boundaries. And this was just the beginning. The standoff between the human research team and the Lyrian Collective had entered its third day. What began as a tense, technological confrontation had evolved into a complex diplomatic chess match, with Kai Reyes and Zara Nomura at the center of an unprecedented interstellar negotiation. Inside the research outpost, a makeshift communication center had been established. Holographic displays flickered with streams of data, linguistic algorithms, and complex translation matrices that Zara had developed in record time. "They're fundamentally unable to comprehend our motivational structures," Kai explained, reviewing the latest communication analysis. "The Lyrians operate on a collective consciousness that prioritizes systemic efficiency over individual experience." Zara nodded, her engineering mind already mapping out the communication challenges. "It's like trying to explain art to a computer. They understand input and output, but not the nuanced creativity behind it." Chromatic, the lead Lyrian representative, had become increasingly perplexed by human interaction. Their mental communications had grown more fragmented, revealing deep-seated confusion about human complexity. "Your species defies our computational models," the alien communicated, its iridescent form pulsing with what might have been frustration. "Individual actions that benefit the collective are predictable. Your actions are chaotic." Kai chose her words carefully. Chaos is just complexity you haven't yet understood. The diplomatic challenge was multifaceted. The Lyrians viewed species through a strict hierarchical lens: technological capability, collective efficiency, and predictive potential. Humans existed as an anomaly in their galactic classification system. Zara pulled up a series of holographic projections. "Look at this," she said, showing complex cultural and technological development charts. "We're not just a linear progression. Humans leap. We innovate through conflict, creativity, individual passion." The outpost's communication systems suddenly pinged. An encrypted transmission from Earth, a diplomatic protocol, had been activated. Standard first contact procedures were being initiated, but Kai and Zara knew this situation was anything but standard. "They want us to maintain diplomatic neutrality," Kai muttered, reading the transmission. "As if we're dealing with a typical first contact scenario." Chromatic's mental presence intensified. "Your leadership structure is fragmented, multiple decision-making entities, inefficient." Zara couldn't help but laugh. "That's our strength, diverse perspectives, no single point of failure." The negotiation had become a battle of understanding. The Lyrians saw humanity as a potential threat, not because of military might, but because of their unpredictability. Humans didn't follow expected patterns. They created them. A critical moment approached. The Lyrian collective would soon make a decision that would define their understanding of humanity. Would they see humans as a species to be contained, or as a potential variable in their galactic equations? Kai understood the weight of this moment. Every word, every action was a diplomatic dance that could determine the future of human-alien relations. The landscape of Kepler 452b had become a crucible of interstellar tension. What had begun as a simple research mission had transformed into humanity's most critical first contact scenario. Zara Nemura stood at the outpost's central console, her fingers dancing across holographic interfaces. A breakthrough was imminent. She could feel it in the electric tension that filled the air. "Kai," she called out, her voice a mixture of excitement and concentration, "I think I've found a way to bridge our communication gap." Dr. Kai Reyes approached, her eyes scanning the complex data streams. The Lyrian craft remained outside, its obsidian surface still shimmering with that otherworldly quality that had both fascinated and unnerved them since first contact. "The Lyrians communicate through a form of quantum entanglement," Zara explained, pulling up intricate diagrams that looked more like abstract art than scientific notation. "But they're limited by their collective consciousness. They can't truly comprehend individual variation." Kai raised an eyebrow. "So how do we demonstrate the value of individual perspective?" A dangerous smile crossed Zara's face. "By giving them something their systems can't predict." The plan was audacious. Using a combination of quantum communication techniques and a specially designed algorithmic framework, they would create a communication matrix that celebrated human unpredictability, not as a weakness, but as the ultimate evolutionary advantage. Chromatic, the Lyrian representative, sensed the shift immediately. Its form rippled with colors that suggested confusion and growing apprehension. "Your intentions are becoming less predictable," the mental communication came, tinged with what might have been concern. Kai stepped forward. "Unpredictability is the essence of innovation, of survival." The outpost systems began to pulse with a carefully constructed communication sequence. It wasn't just a message, it was a demonstration. Each algorithmic sequence contained multiple potential outcomes, a living, breathing representation of human potential. Zara had essentially created a technological Rorschach test. Where the Lyrians expected a single, efficient path, They would receive a multi-dimensional spectrum of possibilities. The alien craft outside began to react. Its surface shifted more rapidly, the obsidian material seemingly struggling to process the incoming data stream. This was more than communication. This was a fundamental challenge to the Lyrian understanding of intelligence. "We are showing you possibility," Kai communicated. "Not just what is, but what could be." Suddenly, the communication took an unexpected turn. The data stream began to generate spontaneous creative outputs, mathematical solutions to problems the Lyrians had considered unsolvable, artistic representations that defied their computational models, strategic scenarios that emerged from seemingly random input. Chromatic's mental presence wavered. "Impossible," came the communication, but there was a new tone, not just confusion, but something resembling respect. Zara leaned closer to Kai. "We're not just sending a message, we're rewriting their understanding of intelligence." The turning point was happening in real time. The Lyrian collective was experiencing something unprecedented, a species that didn't just solve problems, but created entirely new frameworks for understanding those problems. As the communication continued, the alien craft's surface began to stabilize. The rapid color shift slowed, became more deliberate. Something was changing. Kai recognized the moment for what it was. Humanity was proving its worth not through military might or technological superiority, but through the most powerful tool in its arsenal: the ability to imagine beyond current limitations. The universe watched and waited. A conversation was happening, not just between two species, but between two fundamentally different approaches to intelligence, to existence itself. The landscape of Kepler 452b had transformed. What was once a site of potential conflict now hummed with a new kind of energy, the delicate emergence of interspecies understanding. Days had passed since the breakthrough communication. The Lyrian craft, once an ominous obsidian presence, now sat in quiet communion with the human research outpost. Kai Reyes and Zara Nomura had become more than researchers. They were now inadvertent ambassadors of human potential. Chromatic, the Lyrian representative, had undergone a profound transformation. Its communication had evolved from clinical and detached to something more nuanced, more curious. "Your species does not seek to conquer," the mental communication came, no longer a statement of confusion, but a genuine observation. "You seek to understand." Zara chuckled, her engineering mind parsing the deeper implications. "Exploration is our conquest, knowledge is our territory." The final breakthrough had come from an unexpected source. During their complex communication exchanges, the humans had shared not just scientific data, but cultural narratives. Stories of human resilience, of individuals who had overcome seemingly insurmountable challenges, of societies that had transformed through collective imagination. Kai pulled up a holographic display showing humanity's technological and cultural evolution. "We don't progress in a straight line," she explained. "We leap, we fail, we reimagine, that's our strength." The Lyrian collective had begun to understand something revolutionary. Humanity wasn't a species to be categorized or contained. They were a dynamic, evolving intelligence that defied traditional galactic classification. "Your individual variations," Chromatic communicated, "are not weaknesses, they are your greatest adaptive mechanism." A diplomatic protocol was emerging, not through traditional negotiations, but through a complex dance of mutual discovery. The Lyrians were learning that predictability was not the only measure of intelligence. Creativity, adaptability, and the capacity for radical reimagining were equally valuable. Zara had been working on a final communication matrix, a comprehensive representation of human potential. It wasn't just a message, but a living demonstration of how individual creativity could solve complex problems. "We're showing them our true nature," she told Kai. "Not as a threat, but as a potential ally." The Lyrian craft began to change. Its obsidian surface started to reflect holographic representations of human achievements, scientific breakthroughs, artistic innovations, moments of collective resilience. It was as if the very ship was learning, adapting, understanding. Chromatic's communication took on a new tone. We have observed hundreds of species. None have challenged our understanding as yours has. Kai understood the weight of this moment. This was more than first contact. This was a fundamental reshaping of galactic understanding. We don't want to be like you, she communicated clearly. We want to be uniquely ourselves, and we invite you to do the same. As the twin suns of Kepler 452b began to set, casting long shadows across the alien landscape, something extraordinary was happening. A new form of interstellar diplomacy was being written, not through treaties or technological displays, but through the simple, powerful act of mutual respect. The Lyrian collective was learning the most important lesson of all. Intelligence is not about uniformity. It's about the capacity to grow, to change, to imagine beyond current limitations. Humanity had made first contact, and the universe would never be the same.